In this lecture, we are going to cover characteristics and examples of database system. But before going into details of a good database system, let's discuss what can happen if an organization has not managed the things properly, means they had not designed the database properly in a managed way. So for this we are going to discuss a student database in that is initially in an unmanaged way. Then how can we manage the database, and we are going to take some more examples for better understanding. So let's start with the lecture. An example of institute's database where we have one table for managing the information of all the students of the institutes and all the courses of the institute, means we are not having any other table or any other record where the courses offered by the institute is stored or managed. Okay, so in this institutes, suppose we have 9 students. Out of them, 3 are from CSC, 2 are from IT, 1 is from mechanical, and 2 are from ECE, and 1 is from civil engineering. So as the course information is not maintained separately, so if we record any record from this table, if the suppose we have only one student in the civil engineering branch and that student has left the college, so we have to delete this record from the table. Okay, and once we delete this record from the table, we are left with only 8 records with information of 3 courses only. First is CSC, and second is IT, third is ME, and fourth is EC. Okay, and if we delete the record of this student, Y student with civil engineering, even the information that the institute was providing the course of civil engineering is also lost. So the resulting table is this, with with only option of 4 courses as CSC, IT, ME and EC. The information of civil engineering is lost as we have not managed the database properly. So it is very necessary or a tricky task to manage and design the database. That is the task of database administrator and designers, to manage the database so that no information is lost. If the records are deleted, the information should be maintained. So what can be the solution? What is a managed database? How we can manage the things properly? But we can manage the things properly by dividing the database into different and separate tables and linking the table. For example, for the last example, we can have a student table and a course table separately with the with the information of all the courses available in the institute, and identify each course with a particular ID in all the tables. Same way, if we had the account table, library table, in all those tables only the student roll number is going to identify each record of the student. So here we have two tables, one is student table and one is course table. And in student table we are just having the course IDs, means why student is having the course with the ID C400. So even if we delete the record of a particular student, for example, if the Y student left and we delete the record of this student from the student table, even we are having the information of course in the course table, so the information of course is not deleted and the information of student is only deleted because student left the college. So this type of management can be there, and this process and this type of distribution of data into separate tables and linking of tables through some IDs is known as a normalization process. In every database, for every database to be a good database, managed database, the database should be a normalized database. Okay, we will be going into the normalization with further lectures. Now we are going to check the examples of some of the databases that can be managed through normalization in a proper way. So taking the database example, for storing the student and course information. This example is taken from the Navathe chapter 1, where we have to manage the student and course information. Here we are managing this way using the student table, where the record of all the students are kept. Next we have the course table, where the courses available in the institute is managed. Okay, so all the information regarding the present student and the present courses offered by the institutes are maintained separately. And third, we have the table to manage a section, means which course belongs to which section is managed through the section table. And next we have the grade report for every student, means they have part of, means which student is part of which section is maintained here, and what the grades, or what are the grades of that particular students are. Next we have the table of prerequisite that defines the prerequisite for a course, means for a to opt for a course, what are the prerequisite courses that we require to opt. Okay, the database for storing the information of student and course for an uh, institute is as follow. First one is student and next is course. So here the student table is storing the information of all the students available with the institute, and the course table is storing the information of all the courses offered by the institute. Next we have the section table that is storing the information of all the sections available, or all the sections for particular courses. For example, section 85 is for the course number this, 92 is assigned to course number this. So in this way we are keeping separate information for in separate tables. Next we have the information, we need to link these tables, means which student belongs to which section and is doing which course. So for that we need to have some linking tables. Here we have a grade report tables, where we are listing student number and their section identifier. Okay, so we can retrieve all the information from all these tables. Like if we have to check which course is opted by a particular student, so we can check that with this report. For example, we have student number 17, and student number 17 is belonging to two sections, 112 and 119. So 112 and 119 sections here are having two courses, means there are two courses that are going on with these sections, that are math and CS 1310. So what are these courses? We can get the information from this table. So we can say that we are keeping, no doubt we are keeping the information in separate tables to manage them properly. Suppose we have the same table instead of these four tables to keep all the information. So to store the section information, to store the course information, we have to repeat all the student details with all the rows, or we have to repeat all the course information with all the section informations. Okay, so this type of ambiguity can be avoided using this approach, means we have to keep the information at one place, but yes, we can link the information through identities. For example, here in first table, the student number is acting as the unique identification of each student. Next, here the section identifier or section ID is acting as an identifier for the section for all other tables. Next, the course number here are acting as identifier for the particular course. So all the information is identified by their particular IDs. Now for linking. For example, we have the grade report table. For example, we have to check the reports or check the courses of student number 17. So here we can check that 17 student with number 17 is having sections 112 and 119. So after that we can check here. So from that we can get that 112 section and 119 section are linked to two courses. 112 with this course and 119 is linked with this course. So to know the names of these courses, we have to refer the course table. So after referring the course table, we conclude that this course is mathematics, discrete mathematics, and next course is introduction to computer science. So in this way we can query multiple tables at the same time to retrieve the results or to retrieve the required reports. Okay, and last table we have as a prerequisite table, where the prerequisite courses required for a particular course are listed. So this is the way how the database is managed, and the information is kept uh, in different tables according to their requirement. Next example is for an employee database. So the database for a company to store the employees and department information is as follow. Here we have 6 tables to store the complete information. As first table is employee, next is department. So all the employees uh, information is kept in the employee table, and all the departments available with the company are listed in department table. All the location of a particular location, because we can say that one department can have multiple locations, so all those locations information is listed in this table, and all the projects handled by the company are listed in project table. All the employees working for a particular project are listed in this table, and one employee can work for multiple project as well, and all the dependents for an employee are listed in this table. Here dependent means, suppose we have medical policy for an employee in a company, so all the family members or of that particular employee are also listed in company's database, because they are also getting the medical service from the company side. So this is the way we have to also keep record of dependents for a particular employee. So these tables are linked as all the employees are identified by particular ID. As we have seen in the last example, everything is identified by the particular ID number. So here the ID number is SSN. SSN means social security number. So every employee is identified by an SSN. Next, every department is identified by a particular department number. So we are not keeping the department location here, because for a particular department we can have multiple locations for so we have to repeat the same rows, means same department information. Suppose one department is having 10 locations, so we have to repeat all the department information along with distinct locations. For example, department CSC is having the location Delhi, department CSC having the location in Hyderabad, department location is having the location in Dehradun. So we are just repeating all the information to keep record of location. So why not to keep the record of location only in a separate table? So this is the approach of database system. Here we have department name, number, manager of department, manager start date means when the department appoint a particular manager, so manager start date is here. Department location means number and location, so here we can have repetitive entries, but we just repeating the department number, not the manager information, not the manager start date and other details. Next is project number. So here every project handled by the companies is identified by a particular project number, and that project number is can have a particular location and the particular department number. Here the department number indicates the department that handles that particular project. So one project can be under one department and another project can be under another department. So all this information is kept here with the department number only. We are not keeping details of extra details of the department here. We just keeping the department number here. Next we have the table works on, means which employee is working on which project. So here we have the listing of employee ID number or employee SSN number. Next with the project number. So which employee is working on which project is listed here. As we can have one employee indulge in multiple projects, so we can have multiple entries with the single SSN number of a particular employee also. Next we have the dependent table. So one employee is identified here by also again with the SSN number and the dependent's name, dependent sex, dependent birth date, dependent relationship. So all other information is also listed in the table, but but one employee can have multiple dependents. Suppose one employee is having 4 family members, another employee is having 2 family members. So the employee SSN will be in repeating entity for this table with all the dependents belonging to that employee only. So this is how the department tables are managed, and these tables are also linked. Now let's check the linking of these tables. As we have kept the information, separate information in separate tables, but these separate information must be related and must be linked. So as we are using SSN number, department number, project number, etc. for linking. So let's check the linking for these tables. As the employee is having particular ID with SSN, so every employee is identified by SSN number only in all the tables. In every department is identified by the department number in all the tables. Likewise, all the projects are identified by the project number. So here manager is also an employee, so it must have entry in the employee table. So manager is also an employee, so it must be having entry for the employee table. So this manager SSN must be one of the SSN of this employee table. Okay, same way for listing the location of a particular department, it must be a department first. For example, if we have to list the location, means if we have to identify location for a particular department, it must be a department of that company. So for that, the department must have entry in the department table. Only then the department can have locations, means further locations. So this is the required thing, means firstly it must be a department. Only then department can have that, have a particular location. Next, the projects are identified by project numbers. So here project number is identifying all the projects. Here D number is identifying the department that is handling a project. So D number is also one of the number of available department. Oh sorry, we should not link it here. This link should come from here. This link should come from here because we cannot have the department number from the department location table. So we have to take the department number from the master table only, and the master table is department. Next we have the works on table, where we are keeping information which employee is working on which project. So which employee means every employee is also identified by the particular number, that is SSN number. So this SSN or this employee must be the part of the employee table, means we must have entry for this particular employee to work on a particular project, and project number must belong to this table because an employee can work with only those projects that are under the company, means the company is handling the project and employee are part of the company. So for for an employee to handle a particular project, the employee must be part of the company. So the employee must have entry in the employee table, and that project that the employee needs to work with, that project should have entry in the project table. Okay. Next we have the dependent table, and for dependent table also every employee can have multiple dependent, and also the dependents are identified by a particular ESSN number. So every employee is having employee SSN number, and every employee can have multiple dependents. So this type of linking is there in the table, and every database is managed only in such manner to manage the thing properly, so that no information is lost, as we have covered in the first slide what the circumstances or what the consequences an organization can face if the database is not managed properly. Means information can be lost if any of the record is deleted. So we have to keep the information separately, and then we can use linking tables. Here works on is working as a linking table. Next, also dependent is a linking table. Department location is also a linking table. So these type of uh, scenario we have to use, because we cannot have ambiguous information in one table. Okay. Coming to the characteristics of database system, first characteristic is self-describing nature of the database system. As we have already covered, DBMS system maintains the catalog that store the description of the database. For example, number of tables, name of tables, attributes of table, primary key of table, and such type of description is known as a data about data, or we can say that metadata. And this information is automatically managed by the DBMS. User need not to update the information. The DBMS automatically update and maintain this information. To understand the structure of any database system, we just need to understand the metadata of that particular database system. Next characteristic is insulation between program and data. Here programs means the application program, and the data means the data stored in the database system. Okay, we are here program data independence or the operation independence means that even if we change any of the program data or operation, the other things are not changed or other things are not affected. Means if we make any changes to the application program, the data in the database is not affected. Or even if we change the structure of data in the database, means if we add more columns, or if we delete some of the records, if we update any of the record, the application program is not going to change its working. Okay, same way the operations means operations can work in the similar way as they were performing earlier, because the data program and operations are independent of each other, and we are going to take this topic in detail in further lectures. Next characteristics is data abstraction. A data model is used to hide the storage detail and present users from the conceptual view of the database. Conceptual view means how the data is stored, how the queries are managed, how the database is updated, how the data is retrieved. Means user need not to worry about all these conceptual view of the database. We just need to, or any of the standalone user or end user need to interact with the DBMS system through some interface, through APIs that we have discussed in detail in the last lecture. So data abstraction is the one of the most important characteristics of the database system. Next characteristics is support of multiple view of data. Yes, we can have multiple views of single database. Means suppose for banking system we have a centralized database, but we can make a user view only the partial or the limited database. Means suppose we have thousands or millions of entries in the database, we can make a user view only 1,000 entries. Another user can have a view of 2000 entries. So we can work in this manner, means we need not to provide the complete view to every user. Okay, next characteristics is sharing of data and multi-user transaction processing. Yes, database is providing multiple user access at the same time, but it's the responsibility of DBMS to provide the or leave the database in consistent state always, and secondly to maintain the concurrency. So concurrency control, we have already discussed it in the last lecture. Concurrency control is need to be managed properly, and they have several protocols, locking protocols to manage the concurrency that we are going to discuss in later uh, topics. And these are the main characteristics of database system. Thank you.